Hello, everyone. This is Andreas Pop Culture Guide. Today is the latest Andreas Pop Culture Perspective slash review. It is on Batman Begins. Happy 25th anniversary, Batman Begins. Wow, this has been 25 years since I see this film. The first movie, the first Batman film in theaters that I saw as a kid. It's one of my favorites. I mean, top five Batman movie for me in my ranking of Batman films. But let's get started. Of course, everyone knows about Batman Begins. It's the 2005 superhero film based on, of course, the character Batman, directed by Christopher Nolan, co-written with the screenplay with David S. Goyer. The film stars Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne Batman, with the all-star cast: Michael Caine, Liam Neeson, Katie Holmes, Katie Oldman, Cillian Murphy, Wilkinson, the late Tom Wilkinson, the late Rutger Hauer, and Ken Watanabe, and Morgan Freeman in supporting roles. The film is the first of the modern times of reboots. This is the film reboots the Batman film franchise after the failure, the critical and financial failure of Batman Robin 8 years from that time, 1997. Now, this film tells the origin story of Bruce Wayne from the death of his parents to his journey to becoming Batman and his fight to stop Ra's al Ghul, played by Neeson, and the Scarecrow, played by Murphy, from plunging Gotham City into the chaos. Now, Batman Begins is a origin story straight through, detailing Bruce Wayne's emergence from the tragedy, scared child to a symbol of heroism and darkness. After training with Ra's al Ghul and the League of Assassins, Bruce Wayne returns to Gotham in the perfect mental and physical shape. What Nolan and screenwriter David Goyer do perfectly here is inject Bruce Wayne with a emotional arc that we never seen before in any previous Batman film. You can feel the pain and grief Wayne is experiencing when you can see why he decides to become a living symbol of good. The first full-on origin for Batman on film, which hasn't done before. We had glimpses of them in the Batman films, but it was never in detail like Batman Begins. It's very much told from Bruce's point of view. Earlier, the Batman films often focused more heavily on developing the villains, leaving Bruce Wayne in the shadows or his supporting characters in that note. However, this approach that keeps Batman a dark, mysterious figure is a valid one. It makes sense. However, the context rarely hurts, and Batman Begins provides the character with the heaps of context. You can clearly understand the emotions, the motivation of the man behind the mask. The origin is also utterly believable. You can see why Bruce Wayne dressed like a bat, why he needs a cape, how to get supercars, super gadgets, why he hides in a cave. Does it strip Batman of his mythic status? Yes, but luckily, unlike the Nolan 2 Paul loves, which I do like, I mean, Dark Knight is still my favorite, but Begins doesn't too carry away with the realism like its next predecessors do. It does retain the comic book style that the successor could forget, which is unfortunate, particularly Rice. But anyway, that's not the points here. But finally, after two previous items of the Cape Crusader, Batman Forever, Batman Robin, the Batman franchise is back on track, having a big comic collector over the years, and yeah, I mean, I'm a big comic collector over the years and a longtime fan of the Dark Knight himself. You know, I got some soft spot for Forever, but I cannot admit, I mean, I was very disappointed. And of course, Batman Robin was a disaster, really destroyed the foundation of Batman as a character in the big screen. To me, this film, say, say, lots to answer what drives Batman I say to me, those films lost as to what drives Batman to do what he does and turn Batman into more of a pop star than a misunderstood hero in Batman Forever and Batman Robin. But thankfully, though, Nolan has gone back to his roots of his character, portraying a confused and angry Bruce Wayne who ultimately rises to become Gotham's greatest champion. Don't expect to see a lot of shots of Batman in this film, though. It's a story of Wayne focusing mainly on his years of training and preparation for becoming Batman. You're also almost teased throughout the first half of the film, waiting to see the excellent Christian Bale in the costume as he keeps holding back to keep you in anticipation. When Batman does finally turn up in the screen, it was well worth the wait. In my opinion, Bale was born for this role. I think he's definitely the best actor since Keaton, but still, Kevin Conroy is still the best. But anyway, when you're watching on a Batman film, I enjoyed the scenes of Wayne being Wayne as much as Wayne being Batman. Now, on the strongest feature, well, one of the strongest features of the film is the way it manages is how they managed to suck you in to believe that Batman could be in reality one day. The technology is current back then, with no use of silly, OTT, OP weapons and gadgets. Again, making the film work by today's standards. Plus, we're not allowed to forget that Batman is just a man under the costume. There are times when he gets bit of a kinky and shows that he could be vulnerable to, or stab, or getting set on fire, or get hit by Scarecrow's fear. He's still a human person, not a enhanced or metahuman like some of the other superheroes. Sometimes something we sometimes forget when we're watching superhero flick. And Gone too are the silly villains. I mean, Jack Nicholson, Danny DeVito, and Michelle Pfeiffer were great, perfect villains of the Joker, Penguin, uh, you know, um, Catwoman. And then you got Jim Carrey, Riddler. But from there, went downhill. And thankfully, in this movie, the bad guys are actually fairly normal and managed to be menacing at the same time. And then just get into the cast here. I mean, which finally was made the cast. Let's face it, it's a great night. Christian Bale. I mean, this is probably my first time properly saying the cast here. I think in my review, Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Michael Freeman, Morgan Freeman, Gary Oldman, Liam Neeson, Katie Holmes, Ken Watanabe, and the late great Tom Wilkinson, and of course, the late Rutger Hauer are awesome. These actors are top for their caliber. They could never have gotten involved in this if it didn't have the fate of Christopher Nolan's talents. And thankfully, they took the leap and they really elevated the material of Batman Begins. This origin story is so satisfying and unbelievable. Once Batman finally entered the scene, the action is unmatched. Batman Begins is a strong, confident, superior blockbuster with more maturity and emotional truth than most dramas and any other superhero films of that time and right now, which is incredible after 25 years. Batman Begins is still fresh today, as more than a decade ago, which is crazy. I mean, I say it for 25 years. Wow. I mean, the origin of Batman is engaging, engrossing, and emotional. The story provides a context to the Bruce Wayne character and Batman as well. It elevates the movie beyond its fun, comic book plot. And for our comic book fans out there, if you worry about this film, well, see this film because I will assure you that it won't upset you. This is the movie that gets Batman right. I mean, imagine the darkness of the death in the family, year one storylines, particularly The Man Who Falls. I have never met a Batman who didn't love these books, and for me, I think this movie is the perfect Batman film. Yeah. Just wrapping up, I gotta say, this film does a great credit to Bob Kane's and Bill Finger's original version, and testament to all talented artists and writers who keep the legend of the Dark Knight alive in the comic books today. That's something I want to say. And I want to say thank you, Mr. Nolan and Mr. Bale and the cast, and of course, the crew that worked on this film after 25 years. Batman did finally begin from here and moving forward as the greatest superhero of all time for me as a kid growing up that time. So thank you everyone. Happy 25th anniversary Batman Begins. I hope you guys enjoy my review of Batman Begins. There will be more coming down the line. So at the meantime, enjoy the latest of this and many past ones. I'll see you guys later. Ciao.